dedicated outdoor shelter gives your community cats a place to avoid bad weather, but it also keeps them close to home, and it deters them from exploring neighbors' yards or maybe areas they're not welcome, like underneath porches. A good-sized shelter should be about 2 feet by 3 feet and at least 18 inches high. Larger isn't always better because the heat will disperse quickly, and the cats will need a warm shelter during the winter. A space large enough for 3 to 5 cats to huddle is just perfect. Step 1. Collect all of your needed tools. You'll need a styrofoam cooler and a cardboard box. If you're unable to find these, you can use styrofoam sheets bought at a Home Depot or Lowe's and a plastic storage bin instead. You will also need a box cutter or handsaw, black plastic sheeting, Gorilla Tape, a pair of scissors, a small paper plate or a lid of a small pot, and straw. Step 2. Start by finding the best spot for the doorway. Check inside of your cooler or plastic bin and position the doorway close to the bottom corner. It doesn't matter which side you put the doorway on. Just never make the doorway in the center of the box. Wind will blow straight in and make it very unpleasant for the cat living inside. You will want the cat to be able to have a hidey corner from all of the cold winds and weather elements. Make sure that your doorway is a few inches up from the bottom of your box. If it snows or rains, unwanted debris can make its way into the shelter. Note that the doorway must be approximately 6 inches in diameter. If you make it any bigger, unwelcome critters like raccoons or opossums will make their way inside. This is for community cats only, of course. If your styrofoam box is inside of a cardboard box, you're going to want to cut both the cardboard and the styrofoam all at once. If you're using a plastic bin and styrofoam sheets, it's better to cut through these materials separately. Once you've cut your doorway, you can move on to step 3. Step 3. Cut your plastic sheet to fit your shelter. For a 2 foot by 1.5 foot shelter like the one we're building, we can cut about 4 feet off of our roll of plastic sheeting. The reason we use black plastic sheeting is because this color and this type of sheeting radiates the heat from the sun into the shelter and keeps your community cats nice and warm during the winter months. As you fit your shelter, you may have to cut off excess plastic to avoid bunching of material. Once your plastic is cut, place your box, doorway side down, in the center of the sheet. Pull the sides up and tape them down over the shelter, overlapping on each side. Pull the sides up as taut as you can. It's important to pull it taut to make sure that no rain or water can settle underneath of the plastic. Tape it down from one end to the other, making sure to press into the tape so there are no openings. We don't want any water settling underneath because this can create mold. Now you can start taping the short sides in. It's easiest to flip your box on one side so that you can pull the plastic taut. Then you can do each side one at a time. You want to wrap this almost exactly like you would a present. Fold in each side into triangular forms. It's easiest to place a tiny piece of tape at the center so that you can move on to the next step. Now that you've got the side folded in and it's secured with a tiny piece of tape, take your roll of Gorilla Tape and pull it across the seams of each fold and press tightly. Cut the tape to fit, but make sure to leave some slack on each corner. Then cut a small slice through each corner so that you can create a type of corner fold. Repeat this step for the other side. Feel around to find your doorway. Then cut an X through the plastic. Stretch the extra plastic down into the doorway and get ready to seal them inside of the box. Take small pieces of tape, about 3 to 5 inches each, and seal it into the rim of the doorway. We use a lot of pieces so that every inch of the doorway frame is sealed to be waterproof and weather resistant. Now you're finished building your community cat shelter. We always recommend using straw inside of your shelter instead of hay, blankets, towels, or pillows. Straw doesn't retain moisture or mold, and it keeps bugs out. You want to replace your straw about every month and a half. You can pick up free straw from our shelter on Camp Horn Road, Sunday through Saturday from 11 to 6 p.m. Thanks for your interest in building community cat shelters. Together, we can make certain that once the cold winter weather arrives, the animals in our region will have a safe, warm, and cozy place to go.